Hi everyone, it's Ben. I just want to take a moment to tell you about Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, which is a new video game now available on PlayStation 4 and PC via Steam. Fall Guys is a massively multiplayer party game with up to 60 players online in a free-for-all struggle through round after round of escalating chaos until one victor remains. Battle bizarre obstacles, shove through unruly competitors, and overcome the unbending laws of physics as you stumble towards greatness. I've had a look, and really, it looks like a fun sort of Saturday afternoon mucking about with your friends kind of time. So there's lots of sort of slip sliding, falling over. Your classic sort of running across a raised obstacle, and there's things trying to kind of knock you off as well as other people. It's all quite wobbly. It's all quite colourful. It looks like a fun old time. So just to remind you, that's Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. You can go to fallguys.com for more information. And if you're on PlayStation 4, it's currently free for PlayStation Plus subscribers. So, hope you give it a go and enjoy it. And here's the episode.
Hi everyone, Alex here. I'd just like to take a moment to thank some of our patrons. Danielle Moyer, Stephen Oglesby, NotAnAlien, Judica, Sarah Nice Skin You Got There Clary, Evan Thorne, Rebecca Swaine, Jace Rose, Atara, Chantay Osborne. Thank you all. We really appreciate your support. If you'd like to join them, go to www.patreon.com/RustyQuill and take a look at our rewards. Hello and welcome to episode 103 of the Rusty Quill Gaming Podcast. I'm your host and GM, Alex Newall, and with me today I have...
Ben Meredith,
Bryn Monroe,
Lydia Nicholas, and Helen Gould.
And who are you playing?
Grizzop Trick Act Amsterdam.
Hamid Salaharoon Al Tahan,
Sasha. And Azu.
Okay, put your hands up if you're dead.
Yeah!
Still no one?
No,
No,
okay.
no.
Put your hands up if you're in crippling agony almost all the time. Put your hands up if I had to get you to do a will save this morning.
Woo! Yeah, look, everyone's alive!
I know, right?
It's all fully alive, if only for a short while, as I believe we're careening along a street, chasm, river. It's been a while,
You're
guys.
definitely careening.
Oh, careening, just careening.
Just careening in general.
Woo.
Just having a careen around. So yes, you are... Oh, it's so early in the
Healthy
sort of...
morning careen.
It's so early in the Damascus section, I can just go, you're in Damascus, investigating the... Oh, it's so easy. Investigating the simulacrum.
How many funerals have we attended?
You've attended no funerals.
How many conversations have we had?
Well, none so far.
Yeah, I mean, any conversation Sasha's in, yeah,
That's fair.
to a different degree.
And yeah,
I can always roll more ones in diplomacy.
Having researched with ratchets, you're now careening away in a limo carriage driven by Sasha.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the handle animal that you did last episode, which was terrible.
Yay! I mean, it had to be. Like, she's mechanically awkward and bad with both humans and animals.
If your goal was to optimise being bad at driving a carriage, go you. I'm going to pick up exactly where we left off. There's no reason not to. So, from everyone else in the carriage, inside, it's dead nice. There's a little sort of like almost bar thing. It's just a nice bucket, but it's got soft seats. Whoa! You're off at like, yeah, everyone's thrown to the back of the carriage.
Why? What?
Crunch!
Right, the wine's broken.
Ice is everywhere.
What's happening?
Meanwhile, turn right at the next exit.
That's happening.
Turn around where possible.
Just pulls the horses.
So you are just... Boom. The horses are effectively galloping away from the loud noise as hard as they can.
Yay!
Your steering is sort of immaterial to what's happening.
This is great.
Thankfully, though, they seem
We're
to...
so fast.
Reminds me of those old ladies in Paris.
Yeah, thankfully...
The only stat that matters.
They are heading immediately out of the industrial complex that you're in. So you're straight out, you see a couple of guards go, ow, 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 and you manage to lift up the barrier just before you crunch underneath it. It scrapes across
Thank
the top.
goodness it was goblins.
So you have
Fast work.
Yeah.
You have come out of an industrial complex, and now that you aren't hemmed in by warehouses and things, I can give you a bit of a description of the landscape before we follow on how you die in it. So, it turns out you're actually quite high up You are in comparatively mountainous terrain. It looks like they've put all of this industrial stuff not in the middle of the city. It's further up and further out. It's not cold. It's a middling temperature. You're high up, but also this is a hot area. It's kind of balancing out. So it's sort of scrubland, things like that. Quite rocky. And off as your horses careen, I'm going to keep saying that, around a corner and start heading downhill, you see spread out ahead of you is the city of Damascus. You're the nearest mountain, really, to the city. And you are heading down from that towards the city proper. Has anyone been here before? I don't think anyone has.
Nah, but
Can all of you give me a perception check?
14.
24.
20.
29.
Oh, okay. Grizzop, I'm afraid, not so much. It's a big city.
It's going too fast.
It is. Well, also, you're inside a carriage and you're currently wearing a wine bottle at this stage, I think, so it's difficult to concentrate. Sasha, I'm going to give you a little penalty because you're at the moment.
Too much fun to see.
You are over the speed limit. You are over the speed limit.
It wouldn't be a gremlin, because a gremlin would, I assume, be...
No, this is the goblin driver.
Magical...
The goblin driver says, it's all right, I'll navigate.
Just keeps repeating, alert, alert, seatbelt unbuckled, alert.
Well, in fairness, it goes, seatbelt unbuckled.
So you have an irresponsible sat nav.
Best kind of sat nav.
Yeah.
Turn around in a really sick way, leaving tyre marks. Drive into the river. Go on, do it.
Oh my god, that's Patreon content. Rusty Quill voices your journey.
Oh, we could do that and all. Yeah. Right, Hamid and Azu, what you see is a city that appears to match what you'd expect, apart from the fact that it also, at a very cursory glance, looks quite desiccated, insofar as, like, Damascus as a city, you both will know this, just you'll know it even if you haven't been here before. It was built originally in an oasis, and it was meant to have greenery surrounding it. That is very much not the case. Maybe there has been, like, sandstorms here or something.
Yeah,
but
weather problems.
Either way, the oasis that is meant to be surrounding the city, as it's sort of grown out into it, appears quite manky, is the best word to describe from a distance.
Lots of brown palm trees.
Yeah, like it looks like a bit parched, but you can't be more specific than that. But you can see from up here there is quite a very clear demarcation between the old town, which is right in the middle, and even from this distance you can see it's old builds. It still has the city walls around the outside, but then you can see this much more sprawling and informal thing coming around the rest of it, and it is much larger than the old town. Can I get a knowledge local from Sasha? You might have picked something up on the go. Hamid and Azu, can I get you to roll on the off chance you might hit a 10? I can give you some info to sort of add it, because you have lived relevantly close.
I rolled an 18.
Sure.
And my like episodic number one.
You spent that very early.
Yeah.
That's good.
It'll just come back.
I got a total of 15. Just barely picked up anything.
So I'm not going to dive too much into culture with it. You'll have to get there as you go. There is the old legend, which is that the city walls for Damascus were solid adamantine around the whole city. Exaggeration, but most people do know that it did have actual adamantine plating around the outside, but cities grow. It's still there and it's still standing because adamantine helps it survive a long time, but it's been stripped, kind of like the Colosseum in modern times. It's been stripped from materials way since then. Sure. But you can clearly see the city is huge. It's not the kind of concentrated madness that was Cairo. It's a little bit more normal, almost. But you are powering down this mountain and you start accelerating because you are riding downhill in an uncontrolled carriage. Almost.
Not for long!
Is there any way for me to get out of the carriage?
Oh, you can try. Would you like to give me an acrobatics to climb out of a moving limo and up onto the roof?
It's just that I've got handle animal, and
if you were driving, you'd probably be really good, but getting from here to there...
And you've got all your armour penalties as well.
Hey, let her make silly decisions. They're the best decisions.
I was just mentioning it so that Helen knew what.
So what that means is when
into.
you fall... Sorry, if you fall, it won't even hurt, probably.
Yeah.
Helen, no, that's not.
That's a really worrying face, Helen. And
That
it's
was a
also
face
an
of-
audio
Yeah,
format, so
good
I don't know where that's
point.
going with this.
And no
Or-
one should ever have that expression with you.
Or I could just get out of the carriage and summon my camel. And like keep pace with the carriage.
Immediate decisions. What are you doing?
I'm gonna try and get out of the carriage.
Okay, give me an acrobatics check.
Azu, what are you doing?
It's too dangerous!
That's a terrible idea!
Yeah!
You're wearing plates!
Give me an acrobatics check. Have you remembered to factor in your penalties on armor check? Can someone
So
next
what's
to
your
her
what's your
double check?
acrobatics? You haven't got any skill in it.
Nothing.
What's your dex?
Minus
-1.
So that's...
And then
Your
the
armor check will be about -6.
It's about -6. So you've probably just rolled a 0.
I think you might have rolled a 0.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
So Azu opens the door. It's This is you rolling behind as the carriage just screams.
What
was that?
I'm gonna jump out and try and help her. 'Cause that was awful.
I am not going to allow a reflex. She rolled that badly. I'm not going to allow a reflex
no.
saves to catch her.
I'm
but you
jumping
might,
out.
Yeah, you might.
After
You
that.
Couldn't catch her if you tried.
Oh, yeah, no, I'd go with her.
This is goblin arms. Stretch.
I would just be crushed by her. That's
Give me an acrobatics check.
yeah. Okay, so my bonus is 3.
9.
Less bad. Less bad.
Both of the paladins have fallen out of the moving limo.
We all jumped off a roof, except there's no reason for this one.
I don't remember what happened. So Sasha can't hear
Sasha,
you
give
saying
me a
that. She
perception
just sees.
check.
Oh right.
You may not even
Hamid has
notice.
uttered that to the empty carriage around.
Okay. So Sasha's got a 16.
Okay, yeah, you do
So I
notice that
notice-
you have you're hemorrhaging paladin.
Okay. So Sasha passes the reins to the goblin. that's next
Autopilot.
to- next there, and then she jumps off.
I haven't even rolled damage for the burst. Give me the acrobatics.
Well, I mean,
check.
Sasha's bonus is
Give me
14.
the acrobatics.
I'm so
Okay, I got a 20.
Anything.
Bang. You have a bit of a
Not a
skidding,
natural 20,
Yeah, you do
just
have
20.
a skidding stop
Yeah.
because you are moving at like high speed.
Yeah.
You're now alone in the limo, Hamid. I'm going to deal with other people's damage once you decide what you're doing. Everyone, for no reason, has just leapt out of a moving limo.
The water's lovely.
Said the bloody
How
corpse.
has this happened, Alex? Like 10 minutes into a new episode, we've left the emotional problems behind us, and half the party just jumped out and passed them down for literally no reason whatsoever.
We need physical
Can we
problems back
replace
now,
the
okay?
rest of these people
Damascus-
with someone with people who are competent? I cannot work under these conditions.
I imagine that Hamid's internal monologue would be relatively similar.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Happy Damascus arc actually has a title. It's Be Careful What You Wish For. I've removed all external obstacles and look what's happening.
Jesus wept.
So what's Hamid doing?
Look, I was just trying to help my good friend Azu. All right.
And I was perfectly qualified for the jump.
I'm going to deal with the damage.
can't heal anyone.
Hamid closes the door behind the paladin, pulls the blind down, reaches into the fridge for the second bottle of wine, uncorks it, and swigs straight from the bottle.
Okay, cool. Let's roll some damage then.
So we've got loads of hit points.
Yeah, falling damage actually really hurts.
And this will be counting as falling damage, but with a bit knocked off because it's, you know.
Well, I mean, we're only falling like probably 1d6 worth.
Yeah, but I'm factoring in additional speed. That's
Oh yeah,
coming straight
sure.
away.
But as long as it's not vertical, because then it gets real deadly.
Well, what I did do is roll almost max for Azu. So,
That is what you deserve.
so you've taken
Azu panicked.
you've taken
As did I.
You've taken 17 damage.
If I was GMing this scene, I would now roll a reflex save to stop you falling off the mountain on top of it.
There are no cliffs.
Also, look,
It's a
Helen,
gentle slope.
Helen, 17 is child's play. Look at the amount of hit points you've got. You are fine. That's like, you've got a light bump on their head.
That's literally half Hamid's HP.
Grizzop, unfortunate for me, Grizzop only takes 7 damage.
I have 53 hit points.
I
I,
know.
don't care.
I know you don't.
I could have taken 17.
I know.
Don't tell him.
Sasha takes nothing because she's competent.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say I bounce a couple of times, then sort of land on my feet.
Honestly, like when goblins land on their head, they tend to like not feel it. It's
Yeah.
fine. Hamid, I'm going to deal with you later. Because
Just leave me out of this.
Yeah,
I'll go. I'll go have a drink downstairs while the rest of you sort this out.
Yours is straightforward. You're maybe half a kilometre outside of the industrial complex that you just left, at the top of a gentle slope, looking down at Damascus.
So I am running up to Azur, be like, "Are you all right? Are you all right? Did you survive?"
Yes.
Whee! Good. All right. Good. So, don't do that again.
I don't like being in small spaces that are rolling everywhere.
At least take your armour off first.
That takes time.
Yeah, but
I didn't like it. I didn't like it, Grizzop.
okay.
Well, not a good experience for me.
Suddenly Sasha's just there.
Oh, hey.
I can roll a sneak if
Wait,
you
don't
need me
bother.
to.
Hang on a minute. Where's Hamid?
He's just, I think he's probably
What's
fine.
wrong with Hamid? He's got to stay with the party. I cannot believe he's been so irresponsible.
If he could hear you, he would fire you.
So what I very sadly have to call the party at this stage, because Hamid's off solo.
Yes!
What does the party do?
I'm summoning my camel.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. So we all ride it.
Recommendation. Why don't you drive it? Let's not let Sasha drive it. What was that?
That was amazing!
I am covered in wine.
That's fantastic!
No, I wanted to
know you
drink
were
it. I
having a
wanted the wine to be inside me, not on me.
Wow.
So what are people doing? You're getting on
I'm
the camel?
getting on the camel, and I'm going to be like, I'm following the carriage as long as I'm not in it.
All right.
Are you coming?
Yes. I think Sasha might
Nice.
try to ride the camel, then very much not enjoy the wobbliness
Okay.
and just
I'm-
walk alongside.
I'm going to get on Azur's shoulders again.
Yeah, you're gonna
Yay!
use the standard.
Yeah, the paladin totem pole.
Yeah.
Pala pals.
Yes, the palapal.
I'm going to jump to Hamid. Okay. You have a comparatively uneventful ride. The horses slow down. The goblin, sort of still holding the reins, opens the top hatch. Watcher, you all right?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right then. Anything I can do for you?
No, we'll meet them there, I suppose.
All right. Opens it again. Probably take them ages. They ain't got a carriage.
I imagine so.
All right. Closes the hatch. Heads off. You enter Damascus. You enter the northern mercantile quarter first. That's sort of the way that you're coming in. You're sort of coming in from northwest.
I can't suppress the laughter at Helen's suppressed laughter. She's gone purple. That's amazing. Bryn has just stopped being purple. Oh no, there it is. There's the frustration again.
So
I'm just so touched. He jumped out.
See, that was a really important character moment, Bryn. Okay.
So Hamid. I'm going to stay with Hamid. You enter the mercantile quarter.
Yep.
And it seems to be doing well. At a cursory glance, business seems to be moving along quite nicely. It doesn't look like everyone's like depressed in the streets, and it doesn't have quite the same resignation to it that Cairo did in terms of the sand. But there has clearly been a sandstorm here as well. There is a lot of sort of litter in the streets that people are cleaning up. And
yeah,
so
there are
on.
people on the streets.
Yeah, it's busy. It's busy in a way that Cairo didn't.
Species?
It's a broad
Mixed?
It's a broad mix, but I would say there is a high population of goblins and a higher population of orcs than you would expect. However, the
Orcs normally have...
orcs normally have almost no presence in this kind of cities. They don't tend to mix that much. So the fact that there are some moving around, yeah, like it's more than you would have expected.
Yeah.
Can you give me another perception check, please?
18.
18. You do notice there seems to be a certain element of tension between the orcs and the goblins specifically.
Oh, weird.
That is also quite weird. Heading through the merchant district, you eventually head closer towards the old town. You're not in the old town, but you're sort of starting to get near the walls, and you are dropped off outside the restaurant that you've been taken to, which I'll give first dibs to anyone to name as long as it's not insanely ridiculous. Go.
The really dry admiral.
The Dry Admiral. Okay, canon.
No.
No,
Oh, look, you got downvoted by sensible. I like it.
the desiccated corporal.
Yes.
You know what? That's
more
actually
like it.
quite a cool name. Yeah, the Desiccated Corporal. I'll allow that. So yeah, you are.
I mean, it's no Griddle of the Sphinx, you guys.
No, it's not. So the goblin sort of pulls over and knocks on the thing, opens the door. Oh, I think that's everything.
Thank you so much.
No worries. kind of holds a...
Yeah, I give him a tip. I already had a tip ready. I was not brought up in a barn.
He goes, oh, thanks very much. Pro tip, don't ask for water. Taps his enormous nose, hops back up to the carriage. Do you want me to pick them up on the way, or...?
I mean, I suppose you could offer them that, yeah.
I'm on the clock till the end of the day, mate, whatever you think.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
or
all
at least let them know where I am.
Yeah, all right. He gallops off, back to the party.
So I was just thinking about restaurant names in the vein of Griddle of the Sphinx. I've got to finest Damascus meal.
You're stuck with
Finest
desiccated
Damascus
corporal.
steel.
That's good.
You're stuck with desiccated corporal, but there are plenty of restaurants in this large city. Who knows? Rest of the party, are you doing anything other than just carrying on towards the town?
I mean, we're on a camel. Like, it's absolutely fine.
In fact, no, wait. After a while, Sasha's going to get up on the camel as well. She doesn't like it, but then she's
Neither
gonna
does the camel.
And she's going to get up, trying to climb on Azzy's shoulders as well and start doing knife tricks. So they'll go.
But Grizzop's already on my shoulder.
Are you now on Grizzop's shoulders?
We
It's
are a
gonna be-
mercenary company, not a circus troupe.
I mean, it's going to get extreme.
Or Topaz.
Okay.
Topaz is an angel. Topaz is
Literally.
fine.
I am going to accelerate time a little bit. You start seeing the carriage working its way back up towards you. You have made it maybe halfway to the city in this time. Do you flag it down or let it go past? It's definitely the same one.
Flag it down to see if Hamid's still in. Like, maybe Hamid came back for us.
Yeah.
So carriage pulls over. You alright? Watcha? I didn't know you had a camel. Where'd you fit that?
In the celestial plane.
That's not as funny as I was hoping. What, a lift, or am I alright to head back?
No, you're all right, mate. But do you know where our mate went?
Oh, well, he went to the restaurant. He was waiting for you.
Which restaurant?
Well, it was the one that he organised. He pulls out a little notepad. The desiccated... I can't read my handwriting. The desiccated colonial. The desiccated colonial.
Sounds about right.
Alex. Alex.
So, am I giving you a lift or what?
No, we're fine on the camel.
Yeah, no, you've given us directions. So now we'll definitely go straight to the restaurant and there won't be any problems or dawdling and it completely won't be the GM's fault.
Right.
Off we go!
No worries, that was a really weird thing to say.
I know, something just overtook me.
I'm really worried about them. He sets off back up towards the complex. I'm going to accelerate time. Hamid,
Yep.
are you willing to wait until they turn up? Because I can just accelerate
I
till they
order
turn
an
up.
aperitif and a starter.
Okay. You work your way through an aperitif, a starter, a main, a dessert, a second dessert, because you
Slow
deserve
is
it.
Topaz. Yeah, Topaz isn't like.
Oh, the goblin was still going at breakneck speed even afterwards, and Topaz is loaded.
well, then I made
Is it
the
loaded
right
up? He's
decision.
not a wealthy ancient camel. And you've just finished your sort of your brandy after the dinner, and you're in the sort of little chocolate mint phase of the dining when everyone comes up, dust covered, mucky, and you'll have spent at least about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, just looking for the wrong restaurant. But you are there, and it's just clunk, clunk, and you are very much
Have we
underdressed.
been thrown any tips for doing knife tricks stacked 4 high?
A few people have given you a few coppers.
Oh, nice.
But you distinctly heard them say that it was some form of, charity.
Corporal. Says corporal. On the sign, corporal.
Well, we're
Not
here now.
colonist. Or colonial, or whatever he said. I can't believe... Anyway, I'm starving now.
The whole of the restaurant is kind of a little bit shifty looking because dust travel stained people have come into a comparatively upmarket area.
Sasha shakes like a wet puppy. And then
Sand and dust everywhere.
so happy to be alive.
Maitre D runs up. Can I help?
Oh, yeah, no,
everyone?
we're joining the table. Hamid! Here!
Hello! Hamid is surrounded by empty plates.
No, it's a good restaurant. They've been taken away when I finished them.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. I redact that. That was foolish of me. I am wrong.
So, dinner time?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can recommend the scallops.
Oh, lovely.
I don't know what those are, but yes.
They call them seafood, but they're basically just little discs of meat. Yeah.
So the meat discs, sir.
Please.
Post dinner, you are all have finished a lovely meal. and you're all now kicking back in quite a nice area, like a nice bit of the city, nice restaurant.
The freelance lifestyle isn't that bad sometimes.
What do we do now?
Well, I suggest we find a hotel for the evening and head to, is it Clank Industries tomorrow?
Crank Industries, apparently.
Crank Industries.
We definitely didn't have a discussion off audio and confirm it was Crank, and people just heard what they wanted to hear, yes.
I heard what would have been better.
Yeah, would have been much better in my head.
If you're going to mutter into the microphone.
Fine, Alex, I will.
So you all are heading to a hotel?
Thank you for your feedback.
Yeah.
Do any bright ideas for yet more place names? It's my new thing I'm trialing, letting players name their own restaurants and hotels.
The Oasis.
Oh, last chance. Any other takers?
There's probably a place called the Away. That makes sense.
No, that just sounds like us failing on tape. Now we've got to take a break. Think for 10 minutes.
You know what? Okay, yeah, I'm going to take a break, and in this break, you can come up with a hotel name.
The dessert. Deserts.
And welcome back. So you had time,
Yeah.
and the grand hotel is known as Hot Tropic.
Yeah. We're not in the best form, guys. It's very hot in here, and none of us
so
can
hot.
think.
Even though there's a frozen leg of lamb in it.
You're ruining the illusion of perfectionality.
I'm beginning to understand, Alex, why you inflict misery on us all.
You all deserve it. So you enter Hot Tropics. And you see that it's sort of a theme hotel. It's not very well thought out.
As in the manner of having heard a lot of, what's the word? Like, we've heard about this place, but none of us are American.
Yes,
So
that's
then
true.
we only have encountered the original of this meme
Hot
through
Topic-
Tumblr memes.
Hot Topic to me is a mix of Claire's accessories and Topshop, like rammed together. That's what I.
So, how it actually is it appears to be quite an old hotel. It's in, although there hasn't been that sort of colonial movement, it is in the sort of French style for that.
Just because they like it.
Yes. Like, honestly, yes, it is just in that style. It is lightly themed as a hotel. They've gone for a sort of European on holiday vibe.
Oh, brilliant. How different to what we're used to.
You could have had anywhere. What you do notice is it's full of fountains, all of which are dry. And there is sand piled up in a central courtyard and so on. That said, I'm not going to dive into huge amounts of detail and specific NPC stuff unless you want. I'm happy to just accelerate to the next day after a night's sleep.
Sure, yeah.
Can we heal?
Yes, you can all heal. All of you, even Sasha.
You get twice your hit points back for sleeping a full night. Twice your level in hit points back for sleeping a full night.
Next morning rolls by. Can everyone give me a will save, please?
Whoa. I thought we said we weren't doing will saves every morning, Alex.
I said you hadn't yesterday.
22.
Okay.
20.
12.
13.
Okay, cool. So you all wake up fine. Everything's fine. No worries.
I mean, some worries because you made us do will saves. But
Sometimes I just do it just for the fun.
He's just going to do it even when nothing's happening, just to make sure we don't know for certain when something is.
Oh, Bryn. Oh, you know me.
it's a good Trail of Cthulhu tip
So
as well.
you are now you're having a breakfast buffet.
What's the word for when you can see something double when you're in a desert? And it's
Double
mirage.
vision. Oh, a mirage.
Mirage, yeah.
Oh, that's a really good name for a hotel, that.
Yeah.
The Miragio.
Could have been that, but it's not, is it? Is it? I'm going to put that on the next place you stop.
Azu has the most loaded plate you've ever seen.
Good.
Good. There's eggs and pancakes and bacon and sausages and waffles and syrup and all of the cereals and yogurt. And
Why are they serving us a full English American breakfast in Damascus?
I don't know. I don't know what.
I suppose if we're in a world with very different religions, then you would be able to get pork products there.
Also, they said it was like
you have gone to a European
yeah,
themed
European
hotel.
themed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you that's where you
I'm
ended
not
up.
being forgetful.
Then my plate is full of 7 croissants.
Oh yeah, totally.
Sasha's got, like, just a roast chicken. Just eating it.
Did you get it from the hotel?
Yeah.
Just stabbed the chicken with the flame dagger and it just happened.
Oh, wow! That's actually a great idea.
Survival tips with Liz. Now you're going to want to stab the chicken for 3, maybe 4 minutes.
And then really nice. The ice dagger will take the feathers off just fine.
It's really interesting that they kill it at the table, actually. It's a really interesting service. You have to choose your chicken and they just...
Scrack!
I believe in you, Hamid. I can't get this moving on my own, but with your help...
So, Crank Industries.
And Ratchet Industries.
We've been to Ratchet's, I think. Yeah, Ratchet's was the one we just went to.
Ratchet's is the one that you inspected in
We did inspect it very thoroughly.
So, are we going to pose as inspectors again?
I mean, it worked the first time.
I mean, they might not buy it this time. They were very happy to assume we were inspectors.
Well, how else are we going to do it?
Well, I still think investors is a more convincing cover.
Do we look like investors?
I look down at myself. I definitely look like an
You do look like a foreign investor.
No, I said, do we look like investors?
I mean, I could have hired you as bodyguards. That's quite believable.
Yeah, my rates as bodyguard are quite affordable.
Paladins, given they're wearing religious regalia, wouldn't be having that
Yeah.
kind of work.
No, you're probably right. It's not terribly appropriate.
I mean, you could cover your religious insignia to pass off, but then you're covering your religious insignia, so I'm assuming that's a hard no.
Sorry.
I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense for paladins to be working as random site inspectors for an industrial company either, but the other...
We're working for the
We had the element of surprise.
Be amazed
there.
what a natural 1 on a sense motive will do for an entire NPC workforce.
We're working for the meritocrats to root out corruption, which is actually technically still true.
I would like to tell the truth as much as possible, if possible.
Oh, are you a truthy one? Does Aphrodite really like truth and stuff?
Yes.
Oh, all right, fair enough. All
His
right.
Artemis more like what works.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're on a hunt, right? You don't wanna- oh,
I'm right here!
Yeah, you're not going to stand up and say, excuse me, just so you know, I'm going to shoot you soon, so just giving you a heads up.
Well, that's not the same thing.
Well, I don't know, basically seems like it to me.
Well, the problem with lies is that you can get caught out.
Not if you're good at it.
It's got a good point there.
I'm not good at lying then.
Fair enough. All right, well, then we have a good reason for you to not lie.
Well, then we could be inspectors, and I could inspect the quality of all of their daggers. I might need an extensive testing period.
I think we will believe that Sasha is a dagger enthusiast, so...
I mean, the problem is if we introduce ourselves as meritocratic agents, they're more likely to participate in a cover-up rather than telling us exactly what's going on.
Then we sneak in? I mean, I'm a goblin, so I could probably blend in.
I can sneak in most places.
I don't speak the local language, whatever that is.
I mean, the investors' strategy could still work. I mean, the church could be the ones considering investing, and I could be an agent working for you rather than the other way round.
That's true, could be weapons.
But we're two different churches.
Well, maybe it's a...
Joint venture, I mean, it's not unheard of.
You want love sticks or something? I don't know, what do you... Big swords?
Swords will work.
Loving healing swords, yeah?
Azu makes the face that I've just made in the podcast.
Like the sucking the teeth. Like
Yeah, the I am not about to shout.
It's formally known as "This is me not yelling."
I am
Yes.
just grinning ear to ear and bearing in mind my mouth is actually ear to ear.
Adamantine is useful for weapons and armour and building materials. Like, there's, both churches could want those things.
That's
I don't
true.
think it's, terribly...
And I could inspect all of the weapons.
Oh, you could be getting Aaron Fairhands a lovely ceremonial set of armour.
Sasha, you can be our expert.
Yes.
Grins.
So is that
I'll
an
have
actionable
to-
plan?
Yeah.
So, an investor, 2 paladins, and the knife enthusiast.
I could
And
advise.
walk into a bar.
Oh, and they have a bar brawl. That happened already.
100 hours later.
So I'm going to guess, for the sake of moving things along, that you're happy to just ask information at the hotel for where you can get hold of Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Crack
book,
Industries.
we'll book a cab to get there.
Sure, that's fine. Just as a side flavour note, the price of the food was roughly 3 times what it should otherwise be. The price of water, like if you asked a glass of water, closer to 10 times what it should be.
Oh dear, that's not good.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
In a world where create water exists?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Actually, that's a really good point. I get to redo one of my spells. Turns out I've got endure elements because it's hot, and create water because it's dry.
Those are both really good ideas.
I can also cast Endure Element, and I'm a spontaneous caster, so you can save your slot for something else if you like. If we decide we need it, I can just cast it.
Yeah, but then I have to look in the book and solve that. Honestly.
Welcome to the real way of playing role-playing games.
I'm Ben. I like RPGs, but hate books. Discuss.
I like RPGs, but dislike the way that D&D and Pathfinder handle the spell system.
We're not diving down this rabbit hole again.
I've asked for a set of 5th ed books for my birthday.
Yeah! Wise. Anyway, so you arrange for a cab, and they start taking you. It becomes readily apparent that you're going exactly back the way that you came. You are heading back out through the Mercantile District, back up the same mountain. You then, obviously it takes a while.
Slow, because we're going uphill.
It is slow.
Slow is better.
It's not even a goblin that's driving. It's a human, and they're rubbish.
I mean, to be fair, Sasha, no one's jumped out yet, so it's going a bit better.
You could jump out, walk around the carriage 3 times, and climb back in if you want.
I'm not going to do that.
It takes a lot longer to get back, both because it's not a million miles an hour, and also just it is uphill, etc. You head past Ratchets. You see it's as it was before, 4 warehouses beating down noonday sun, and the occasional goblin will run between the warehouses. But yeah, they don't recognise you as you head past up. Keep going.
Go past the abandoned Spyro site.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, it's not abandoned. It's
coming back. There's activity.
It looks like someone might have bought out the grounds and is trying to sort of do something with it. You don't know.
Coming fall 1890 something.
But heading past the almost but not entirely abandoned Spyro complex, you keep heading up, and you are heading into more rugged territory. It was more sensible, whoever was building those industrial complexes lower down, because it was a bit more gentle, fairly easy to level, blah, blah, blah. It's a bit rockier up here, so whoever's been building here has been going to some effort, because you're building a factory at the top of a mountain instead of kind of at a flat bit.
That seems unusual.
It is. Heading up further, and eventually you start seeing in the distance, just around a rocky bluff, one of the warehouses, similar to I'm going to have to get these right. I keep wanting to swap them. Similar to Ratchets. Right. And then as you turn the corner, you see a vast complex that dwarfs Ratchets. It is easily maybe 12 warehouses, I'd say, each of which is probably, if not double, then almost every single warehouse that Ratchets had.
Goodness.
And there's a perimeter sort of fence. It is iron. It's not an adamantine fence, but it does stretch, and you are sort of going past these huge featureless warehouses that are just like number 1, number 2, number 3, and you're heading along. You see no staff. There is no one inside. Eventually, you see someone...
This one seems a lot more sinister than the previous
Eventually,
one.
you see someone patrolling the outside with a pair of guard dogs. They look at you with narrowed eyes, and then they start walking parallel to the carriage.
I think you're right.
Easily keeping pace. Huh?
Easily keeping pace. But yeah, eventually you make it past about warehouse 7, and then you start seeing that there's a checkpoint coming up. Although the warehouses are fairly close in inverted commas to the fence, it's still like a sprint's distance. Do you know what I mean? It's not just right up against it or anything. And your cab eventually pulls over in front of a very basic guard station. Like, it doesn't have branding or anything. It's very kind of plain, but it does have 4 people manning it, which is it's a 2-person station with 4 people manning it, and a 5th is now coming up
What species are
parallel
the
to the
people?
carriage. They all appear to be human.
Oh, interesting.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Presumably, do you send the cab back, or do you ask for them to wait? It matters, because you're quite far out of the city, that's why I ask.
Why would we send the cab back at all? We're at a checkpoint. I'm going to get out of the cab solo and suggest the rest of you wait inside.
Okay.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Oh, of course. In Arabic.
Yeah.
Hello.
We're hoping to meet with your sales representative, please.
No.
What do you mean, no?
It's like yes, but the exact opposite. No.
Excuse me, this is completely unacceptable.
He turns to the rest of the rest of the guards. Turns back. No, it's not. Get out. This is private land. Go away.
Will not be spoken to like this. We set up an appointment in Paris almost a month ago.
No, you didn't. Just deadpanned you. No, you didn't. Turn around. Go home. And just deadpan. The others aren't actively, like, threatening or anything, but there's another guy who had 2 dogs, so there's the first one who was walking there, so you've got 2 people, each of whom is with 2 guard dogs, and then there are an additional sort of 2 people, one who's in a booth with the, what's it called, the lever lifty barrier bit.
It's called a barrier.
Yeah, there at the barrier. And then there's one who's just off to the side, currently smoking something, and they're all just blanking you. Not we're going to get you, just no.
This is completely unacceptable. I have never been so insulted in my life. I demand to speak to your superiors.
They all look to one another. No.
I cannot believe this is happening.
I'm going to go turn around and get back in the carriage, and I'll speak to the driver and just say, please drive back to the city.
Mm-hmm. The driver, just as you're saying that, leans in and goes, it's not just you. Like, I've seen that with other people.
I'm going to pretend to continue. I'm going to continue to my kind of insulted ranting from inside the carriage.
Carriage turns around and starts heading back.
And as we're a little further, I'm going to
Look at that, it's suspicious.
Yeah.
I suggest we get just far enough away out of sight, sneak back, watch out, stake out the compound, get a lay of the land, and sneak in at night time.
Yeah, that sounds very comprehensive.
Sounds great, yeah.
Everything's coming up Sasha these days. You're breaking into potentially a weapons factory.
Breaking into song.
Give it time. She needs to see the layout first.
Also, any knives you pick up now, we're not like, you can't put
Booty!
them. Yeah.
Oh no, what have you done?
Yeah, you have. Everyone's got adamantine weapons from now on.
No. Right.
Stumbles out with a coat, dragging on the ground. I've got no
this
knives.
is literally what bags of holding are for. Yeah. You could fit thousands of knives in a single bag of holding.
Only thousands.
And how many bags of holding do you have between you now?
4 or 5.
Like a dozen.
Well, so I had one, so we got 4 new ones, and I had one already. I think this party had 2 already, so
I've got 4 written down here.
I
So.
already had 1.
Yeah, so I think we've got 6 between
Carrying
us.
capacity is a different party's problem
Yeah.
now. I have to make sure now I don't introduce you to any hordes, because with those you now can take the whole lot.
Yay, hordes.
So, yes, you head off, and I'm assuming, like, how much further away? Round the outcropping?
Probably a
obviously.
mile or so. Like, we
Okay,
want to
cool.
be fully out of sight, and then I'll bang on the roof of the cab and say, just stop here,
So
please.
the guard who was walking with you walks to the end of the complex, walks past till he's just at the outcropping, and then waits there.
Yeah, we will
So
go far
obviously,
enough that we're
that's
outside.
fine.
Which would, I assume, be a long way if it's down the mountain.
Because it's rugged up here, there is actually a line of approach just with rocky outcrops, and there is the odd tree and so on. But yeah, it is doable. It doesn't have a clear, like, miles and miles of straight road or anything. He pulls over. You sure? You're quite far out.
Just doing a bit of sightseeing.
We've got a camel.
We can handle this.
He kind of looks around. Right.
Clonk, clonk.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Also clonk clonk.
Oh, right.
We had a bit of a incident travelling
None of my business.
down the
sir.
hill yesterday.
None of my
So
business,
the
sir.
2 paladins are going to travel on the camel, and they'll probably fall behind. We're going to stay in the cab, though, and we just wanted to take in the view.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, out of character, are you asking to stay in the carriage? And
So
he'll drop
we're
you two
getting
off?
out to see the... So
okay.
you know, what we're going to do is fake, so that we want the driver to believe
Gotcha. That's
that
fine.
we are travelling back
That's
to
fine.
the city.
That's fine. So,
Because
drivers.
he is bribable,
Yeah, absolutely.
and
so
we can't change his memories.
driver's there, and he's just like, okay, cool, yeah. He just sits there.
So just give us a minute. So yeah, we'll go a little way and I'll explain this to you. Basically, the 2 of you pretend to travel until he's out of sight. We are going to get back in the carriage and almost immediately try and sneak out before it gets to any speed. Because I reckon that if I cast invisibility, the 2 of us can accomplish that.
Okay. I mean, surely he'd remember 2 people disappearing from his cab more than he'd remember.
Because he will get back to Damascus and be like, there's no one in my cab anymore.
Yeah.
This right here is the most beautiful moment of Hamid going, right, I've got a plan, and then Sasha going, that's a terrible plan.
Does that happen
She's
a lot?
done more sneaking around.
Like,
So what is the plan? Currently you have a cabbie who's just sat reading a paper at the top of a mountain.
Mate, we're just gonna ride the camel back, if that's all right.
Yeah,
Moyer wants to show off her camel. Look, show off the camel, Azu.
Ta-da.
Oh,
Hey, look what we can do. We've got to practice, you see. That's
all
the
right,
thing.
yeah. All right, I'll be there.
Get on the tower
Yeah.
and start doing knife tricks.
All of you give me a perform check, apparently. This is where we've got to.
I cast Prestidigitation and add special effects.
Of course.
14 off raw charisma.
14.
She's just rolled a 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've got 16.
Tell you what, the paladins, proper naturals at this.
You got 19.
6.
Oh, 19 is what I
So
got.
you two, you've got this down. You've been practicing, like you have been. You've been looking for Sasha. That was practice enough.
Oh, yeah.
Sasha, actually, they're really unstable.
The knife trick's going fine. She just looks like she's not enjoying it.
Well,
The charisma element is
she has
terrible.
this weird focused face, and even though she's juggling knives, she kind of looks like she's juggling them
The
at
thing
you.
it's really difficult, but you wouldn't know that unless you're also an expert, because it's not showy. You're making it look super easy and not dangerous at all, even though it actually is.
Yeah.
So the guys, they're like, oh, that's all right, yeah. You're not going to get any work up here, but all right, good luck.
Well, we've got to practice out of sight, mate.
He-
Otherwise,
Fair. You know what?
not surprised.
That's
is
on
it?
me.
Yeah.
That's on me.
All right. Well, cheers for your help.
No worries.
Thanks for the feedback as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
Again, I'll give him a tip.
Yep, good. And he, as you're handing the tip over, he goes, I mean, if you wanted a pre-arranged time for me to come pick you up as well, that'd be...
I think we're going to enjoy the walk back down the mountain, get some views over the city.
Yeah, all right. He heads off. Click, clock, click, clock.
That was a lot simpler than my plan.
Sasha's still focused on juggling knives.
Sasha, I want to get out for one. Can you?
Fine.
So everyone comes off of the camel, presumably.
Yes, I...
He's looking, just dead-eyed.
She.
Sorry, yeah, it's a she, I apologise.
Yeah. What's the word? Not ameliorate, not commiserate.
Exterminate. We give very different answers.
I mollify the camel, yes. Give it some strokings, give it... What do camels eat?
Soft velvety nose.
Tourists.
I find a passerby.
Great.
Azu with a very soft, welcoming face tears the
Topaz is mollified.
Good.
So you are now up at the mountain. It's a little bit past midday.
Ooh,
I assume there's
It
like
is
some
hot.
ridges around the complex.
Yeah, it is a rugged. You can easily, if you want to get some like
We're going to have to
overlook-
take a long way round, get behind a ridge, climb up a ridge, peek over the top of a ridge,
Is
and
this-
watch the complex.
Is this take somethingable? Is this a take 10 or a take 20 situation?
I'm going to allow it as a take 10 in sneak. I can't have a take 20 because that means that at least once you fail.
Oh, you have to fail. Yeah, that's the rule. Sorry, I can't remember.
But yeah, you could take 10 on sneaking. They aren't actively hunting you.
Yeah, it'll
You
take us a
aren't in
couple
the
of
close
hours to get into
proximity.
position,
Yeah.
and we're going to spend the afternoon scoping out the compound. Because it's heist time!
And we want to do it in the dead of night. Remember, people who can't see in the dark, you need light sources.
Speak
So-
for yourself. Sasha's pretty good at just navigating by sound alone.
Smell.
I mean, moonlight.
Unless it's
And
cloudy,
dancing.
yeah.
You know what? Whilst we were out figures,
It's not cloudy. Look at the
Or
sky.
we're inside.
There's no water. I've got dancing lights. I can summon them at will.
You know what? As an anticlimactic end, I'm going to end there with you staking out the complex.
Arguing about lighting
Arguing
solutions.
about lighting
I
solutions.
can just throw a bomb. That lights a lot up.
I
No,
thought the
that's
point
it.
was people didn't know we were here.
Yeah, this is exactly why I'm ending the episode.
Remember not to adopt any dogs from the guards, guys.
I'll see you next week, guys.
all right. Bye.
Rusty Quill Gaming is a podcast distributed by rustyquill.com and licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial International License. Today's episode was recorded and produced by Alexander J. Newall. To comment on episodes, make donations, and view links, images, videos, and show notes, visit rustyquill.com. Rate and review us on iTunes. Visit us on Facebook. Tweet us on Twitter at @TheRustyQuill or email us at mail@rustyquill.com. Thanks for listening. I have no screen. Definitely don't look at this sheet.
Okay.
I have no screen and I must mouth. I'm glad everyone liked that. I thought it was awful.
It was just watching your face go, yeah, apparently I'm brilliant. Hi.